And hopefully companies have a general understanding of the data types that they use, who has access to them in general from an access perspective, and then what's the use cases of accessing that data.
So switching gears and just talking about the restricted and sensitive data that your employees work with on a day-to-day basis, and now they work from home, they need to get access to that. So tell us how you're addressing that, how you're giving them access, what kind of data do they need access to that's sensitive, and how you're mitigating the risk of exposing that data versus giving them the ability to be productive. So let's hear from you, Mark, on this topic.
Yeah, it's a great topic. From a data perspective, it starts with policies and data classification and data inventory. And hopefully companies have a general understanding of the data types that they use, who has access to them in general from an access perspective, and then what's the use cases of accessing that data. And it all starts with that general framework, and then you put data security controls on top of that to actually enforce. And so there's a couple things going on just from an innovation standpoint, which is really helpful. Obviously, zero trust frameworks are very, very helpful in this respect to look at the identity of the person, the device that they're on, the hygiene and the trust of the device, the identity and the access control and the authorization, and then what data are they accessing, and do they have appropriate use cases to access it. And then you have logging and auditing around the data from a historical access perspective to determine if there's any things that can be tightened up from an access control perspective. So we look at it from the policy, procedure, framework, and then we take a look at the implementation of the data controls, and then look at the auditing side to reinforce that and then improve from a control enhancement perspective, or maybe there's a penetration test that we perform, or can we get access to a certain data set that we shouldn't have access to, where access controls can be tightened. But I think the zero trust frameworks are definitely helpful to take a look at identity, device, and the data that's being accessed. But then also there's Secure Access Services Edge, which is combining the network typical VPN kind of connectivity to the identity, and then what environment are they actually getting into to access an application or a data set. So I think the SASE, the Secure Access Service Edge, and then the Zero Trust frameworks will be definitely helpful for people to investigate, look at, and then put their roadmap and strategic objectives against.